Good morning. So, already you people aware of all the subjects in general studies. It's not at all new. Okay, but there is a difficulty when you are preparing for the prelims. I think prelims is such a puzzling thing. Though we have covered the entire syllabus, but we are not able to identify where the question comes from. Particularly, we have the four important pillars: Indian polity, geography, economy, and history. Among all of them, history is one of the wide and strong pillar. Strong pillar for whom? Strong pillar for UPSC, not for the aspirants. Why? Because if they have to make the paper so difficult and tough, they are going to pick up the questions from very remote areas. Okay, when you open the question paper and you may get an idea that I have never seen these kind of questions in any standard textbooks. Such kind of impression UPSC can give, particularly from history. Okay, and within the history we have divided into ancient, medieval, political and economic history, and a separate module for art and culture that will be discussed by me and other faculty, and a modern India. Okay, now I am going to deal with the ancient and medieval history. Okay, purely political and economic history, and our emphasis is more on prelims. Okay, now we are going to understand this ancient and medieval India only from the lens of UPSC previous year questions. When I have gone through the UPSC PYQs for the last 20 years, we have identified certain repeated themes, and we are going to discuss only those repeated themes. If you are strong in these repeated themes, definitely you will cross 50 questions. You can easily attempt the 50 to 60 questions. Okay, now in our ancient India, one of the repeated theme is Indus Valley civilization. You come across Indus Valley civilization. Within the Indus Valley civilization, cities. Why they are asking more questions on the cities and the material found in those cities? Because Indus Valley civilization comes under, what is this? Proto-history. Proto-history. Proto-history means? Script is available, but it was undeciphered. That's why we need to rely upon the archaeological materials. Sorry. Though script is available, yet it was not deciphered. It was not deciphered. So we have to rely upon the archaeological materials. There is no other way for us. Archaeological material. Okay. Now these archaeological excavations were done in the British period and the dawn of our 20th century. Okay. Now we have excavated number of cities. Among them, the most important cities we are going to pick up. Okay. What was the first city that was excavated? Harappa. So in archaeology we have a convention. According to archaeological convention, the city or the site which was first excavated, that name was used. That's why we are calling it as a Harappan civilization. So Harappa is the first site. Harappa is the first site. Okay. Yeah. Who excavated Harappa site? Dayaram Sahani. So Dayaram Sahani excavated the site. It is located on the banks of, River Ravi. Left bank or right bank? Left bank. It is on the left bank of Ravi River. Yeah, left bank of Ravi River. Okay. And Harappa is a model city. if you understand the outline of Harappa, and more or less you can understand all the other cities, there is no much difference at all. So we can call Harappa as a model city or model town. So how the city was divided? Town was divided into lower town or upper town. Lower town and upper town. Okay. So we can call it as a western and eastern. Western and eastern. Okay. Now the western town is smaller. Western town was smaller. But the eastern town was larger one. Other than this, what was the difference? Difference is here all the buildings in the western town, they are all built on the high raised platform. We can call it as a inner citadel. We can call this as inner citadel. Okay, citadel means high raised platform. Now, in the lower town, in the eastern town, all the buildings were built on the ground, were built on the surface. So here, citadel was absent, inner citadel was absent. But all the cities, all the towns were surrounded by, and it is in the outer citadel. We can call it as a outer citadel or fortification. Fortification. Okay. And outside this citadel, here we have the river. Here we have Ravi river. In between the Ravi river and the outer citadel, there are some, what are they? 6 pairs of granaries. 6 pairs of granaries were found. Okay. Then what else? Besides these granaries, here we found H-shaped symmetry. H-shaped symmetry. Okay. Apart from this, yeah. Streets, okay, that comes under town planning. That comes under town planning. Okay, fine. Here, each city was divided into vertical and horizontal streets. Vertical and horizontal streets. Okay. And here we have, what is this? They form 90 degrees angle, and we can call them as the blocks or the grids. So grid patterned city. Grid patterned city is also one of the important feature. Okay, but grid pattern is absent in which city? Grid pattern was absent in Banwali. Grid pattern was absent in Banwali. Okay, these exceptions will be asked in your exam. Okay, now here at the Harappa, we found one more object called red sand stone torso. Red sandstone torso. Okay. Now, for that red sandstone torso, we have no mean head. We did not get any head. It was damaged. But if you keenly observe the torso, there is a small belly. A small enlarged belly was shown. The small enlarged belly, what it indicates? And who is this man? With this enlarged belly, some people are saying that they are the merchants. Okay. If he is a merchant, what is the need for to make his image? Definitely he may be a priest. And some people are saying that it is the first sign of yoga. In yoga, we inhale and exhale. When you inhale and when you completely make some kind of bandhanas, then a small enlargement in your belly. Okay, and these are the things we got at Harappa. Then, after Harappa, the next important one is Mohenjo-daro. Mohenjo-daro. Yeah. Who excavated Mohenjo-daro? Mohenjo-daro was excavated by R.D. Banerjee. R.D. Banerjee. And it is on the banks of Indus. It is on the banks of Indus River. Okay, right bank or left bank? Right bank. It is on the right bank of Indus. Right bank of Indus. So once UPSC asked, what was the meaning of Mohenjo-daro in Sindhi language? Mound of dead. Mound of dead. There are two towns in Indus Valley Civilization. Its meaning is the same, mound of dead. What is the next city? Lothal. So in Gujarati language, Lothal means mound of the dead. Mound of the dead. Okay. Now, it is also similar to Harappa. City was divided into upper town and the lower town, and both were divided by the citadel. We can call it as the inner citadel. Now, in the upper town, here we got the buildings. They are all the public buildings. Most of the historians, they identified ruling family members might have resided in that area. And there are some important public places like Great Bath. Great Bath is found in the upper town. Okay, we will see those in pics. We all know it is Indus Valley Civilization. In Indus Valley Civilization, here you can see Lothal. Lothal is at the main coast city. Lothal is at the coast. So here also we have the main Balakot. Balakot is also a coastal city. And Sarkatoda is also at the coast city. So once UPSC asked, what are the following cities comes under the Indus Valley Civilization? Okay, they have given cities. Okay, we will see them. And it is the outer town planning. Yeah. In Mohenjo-daro, I said that there is a Great Bath. So this is what the picture of Great Bath. Okay. Now it was built with baked bricks. And the size of baked bricks is 4:2:1. So there is a homogeneity in the size of these baked bricks. Okay, and attached to these Great Bath, there are some small rooms. Probably this Great Bath might have used for the ritual baths or for some kind of sacrificial ceremonies. Okay, yeah. Here you can see the bricks, and most of the bricks are uniform in nature, uniform in size. Even the same technique was used. Yeah, this is what the 4:2:1 brick. And surprising thing is, we have the horizontal and vertical streets, and below the streets we have the underground drainage system. Even to clean the sewage systems, they were provided with the manholes. Here we have the manholes. Yeah. At Mohenjo-daro, we found one more object. What is this? Bearded man statue. It is made up of what? It is made up of statite. It's a soft stone. Okay. Then we got some terracotta mother goddess. And terracotta mother goddess indicates the femininity or the growth of prosperity, fertility also. Okay. Yeah. At Mohenjo-daro, we got one more seal. What is that seal? Pashupati Mahadeva seal. Once UPSC asked a question, which of the following animals are absent in Indus Valley civilization? Okay, bull, cow, yeah, then horse. Yeah, were they aware of horse? They are not aware of horse. But cow is not mentioned in the seals. Why cow was not mentioned in the seals? Was they not aware of the cow? They are aware of cow, but they have not given importance to the cow. Why they have not given importance? Yeah. Domestic purpose? No, yes, they have used it for the domestic purpose. Here, Indus Valley civilization based on the intensive agriculture. For intensive agriculture, you need the draught animal like the bull. Okay, you don't need the cow. But whereas Aryans, they worship the cow because their economy is based on pastoralism, livestock. For livestock rearing, you need to improve the more cattle population. For that, you require the cows. So that's why we don't find the cow image on seals. Cow image on seals. Okay, so what are the animals are found on Pashupati Mahadeva seal? At the bottom we have the deers. Yeah. Here elephant. Here rhinoceros and the buffalo and tiger. So these are the 4 important animals found on the Pashupati Mahadeva seal. Okay, yeah. Then in all the sites we found these humped bull seals. Humped bull seal. Yeah. One more thing is bronze dancing girl. Bronze dancing girl is one of the objects found at the Mohenjo-daro. For this they have used the technique. What is the technique? Lost wax technique they have used. Okay. So how many times your Mohenjo-daro was flooded? Mohenjo-daro was flooded for 7 times. 7 times. Okay. That is important information related to Mohenjo-daro. Then the next one is Mohenjo-daro is followed by Chanhu-daro. Chanhu-daro. Okay. It was excavated by N.G. Mazumdar. N.G. Mazumdar. It is located on the banks of Indus. Located on the banks of Indus. But left bank of Indus. Left bank of Indus. Okay. And this Chanhu-daro, it is known for what? Chanhu-daro is known for bead making. Bead making and seal making industry. Bead making and seal making was popular in this site, Chanhu-daro. Okay. Here we found one ink pot. At Chanhu-daro, we found one ink pot. What is the use of this ink pot? This ink pot was used to place the tools to sharpen, okay, to chisel, to smoothen the seals as well as the beads. It is not used for the, what is that, writing purpose. What are the other things found? Yeah. At Chanhu-daro, we found one vanity box. Vanity box. And we can call it as a cosmetic or lipstick. Sticks were found at Chanhu-daro. And one important observation of Chanhu-daro is generally every town was divided into upper town and lower town. And how they were separated? They were separated by citadel. But here citadel is absent. Citadel is absent in Chanhu-daro. Okay. Now the beads are manufactured. Beads are made up of, what was the stone? Beads are made of cornelian stone. Cornelian stone. Right up. Beads in Indus Valley civilization were made of cornelian stones. Across the IVC, they maintained some weights and measures. These weights and measures were made up of a stone called chet. C-H-E-R-T. Chet. Chet was used. Okay. And they also used a kind of material called faience. Okay. And it is something like a gum which was used to make the toys with some sandstone or some powders. Okay. That's all about Chanhu-daro. Then Chanhu-daro was followed by Kalibangan. Kalibangan. With respect to town planning, Kalibangan has some uniqueness. What is that uniqueness? So here we have upper town and lower town. Generally, only upper town is fortified. But here, lower town is also fortified. Lower town is also fortified. It means buildings in the lower town was built on high raised platform. Okay. In exam, they ask the questions whether Indus Valley Civilization or Indus Valley society is a egalitarian society or inegalitarian society. Yeah? Egalitarian society. If it is egalitarian society, all the houses more or less must be same. But there are some 10 rooms houses or single room houses are there. Single room houses are belongs to poor and labor, artisanal communities. Whereas 10 rooms, 8 room houses, they belong to rich, elite, aristocrats, ruling families. So, your Indus Valley society is a inegalitarian society. So, inequalities were very much present in all the main towns. We found these kind of, it's not discrimination. Okay, upper town and lower town one clearly distinguished. Yeah. Don't we have common weights and measures right now? The same cage in your Nellore district and same cage in Kashmir. Yeah. Am I correct or not? You are paying the same GST. And a person in Uttar Pradesh, they are also paying the same GST. As we have the centralized authority, that's why they are introducing the same uniform weights and measures. Okay, uniform designs, uniform town planning, and mobilization of the labor across the Indus Valley. Okay, it doesn't mean that all the people are equal. There are some inequalities. Okay. Lower town also. So whatever conclusions we are going to draw with respect to Indus Valley Civilization, that is purely our assumptions. Why assumptions? Because we have not deciphered the script. We can't exactly say. Okay. If all the houses in Kalibangan are same, then you can assume. Then you can conclude. Yes, it is an egalitarian society.
But fortified is there.
Yeah. Lower town is also fortified. Then Dr. Ghosh has excavated this. Dr. Ghosh excavated this. Kalibangan is located on the banks of Saraswati river. Kalibangan is located on the banks of Saraswati river. And one more importance of Kalibangan is, we'll come to bangles. Okay. So Kalibangan is the town or city. It was emerged in Proto-Harappan phase. Proto-Harappan phase. We study the entire Harappan civilization into 4 broad phases. Four broad phases. And first one is pre-Harappan phase. Pre-Harappan phase. And this pre-Harappan phase was between 4500 BC to 3500 BC. Okay. And this pre-Harappan phase started at Baluchistan region. Started at the Baluchistan region. So here this pre-Harappan stage started. So they are all the village-based cultures, and they depends upon the livestock rearing. In order to get pastures for their cattle, they started migrating towards the eastern direction. In 3500 BC, they started their migration, and here they are migrating and they come across Suleiman ranges. Now, these Baluch people, they could not climb the Suleiman ranges, and they deflected towards the south. And in the Sindh region, they were settled. Okay. When they settled in the Sindh region, and we can call it as a Proto-Harappan phase. And this Proto-Harappan phase was between 3500 BC to 2500 BC. What kind of land Sindh was? Fertile soils, because every year Indus and its tributaries, they deposit fertile alluvial soils. So now they started taking up livestock or the agriculture. Now they had taken up the intensive agriculture. What is the difference between intensive agriculture or subsistence agriculture? In the subsistence agriculture, you produce just for the consumption needs. But in intensive agriculture, you will produce more than the consumption. So in the intensive agriculture, you got surplus. What they do with the surplus? Yeah. First of all, when you have the surplus, you will go for trade. And you accumulate the wealth. When you accumulate the wealth, where you would like to live? Would you like to live in villages or the cities? So that's how the first urbanization started in Proto-Harappan phase. So we call all the Harappan cities are planned cities, regular cities. Okay, before they are going to settle, first of all, they plan the city. They divide the streets. They give plans for the houses. And the drainage was also constructed at a time. City planning, house planning, drainage planning was simultaneously happened. That's why you can see that striking order in the Indus Valley cities. So in Proto-Harappan phase, there are only two towns initially emerged. They are the Amri and Kotidji. These are the two towns. Urbanization is something like a COVID-19, like communicable disease. It may spread from one area to the other area. Now, this urbanization started spreading towards Rajasthan and towards the Haryana in Proto-Harappan phase, and two more cities were formed, and one is Kalibangan and another one is Banwali. In Proto-Harappan phase, we got only 4 cities. First one Amri, second one Kotidji, third one Kalibangan, and fourth one Banwali. Okay. Now, this Proto-Harappan phase leads to mature Harappan phase. And this is what the stage we study generally. Okay. And 2500 BC to 1750 BC, whatever we discuss, that uniform town planning, drainage, underground drainage system, Indus Valley society, religion, polity, economy, everything we discuss in this phase. So in mature Harappan phase, it's not the 4 cities, my dear. How many cities? More than 400 cities. More than 400 cities and towns were formed. So after 1750 BC, what happened? Decline. Decline was happened. There are many reasons. Okay. Some people say that Aryan invasion. Some people say it is Aryan invasion. Okay. And some people proposes earthquake theory or tectonic theory, and some people proposes flooding theory. But mostly accepted theory for the decline of IVC is not our innovation. Hydrological changes happened. Massive deforestation led to changes in the climate, and rainfall was declined. It led to effect on the soil fertility. Soil was degraded. Soil degradation leads to salinity in the soil, and soil lost its fertility, and soil degradation has been continued, not just 1 year, 2 years, my year. There are 100 years droughts were happened, and because of these droughts, desertification was started. That's why you see desert in that Rajasthan, Gujarat, and some parts of Sindh region. Okay, so that is the mostly accepted theory. Okay, even after the mature Harappan or 1750 BC, there are certain sites, and we can call them as post-Harappan sites. And these post-Harappan sites are Jukar and Jungar. Except these two sites, in all the sites, activity was stopped. Indus Valley was declined. Am I clear or not? So why we are discussing all these things? Your Kalibangan, it was a proto-Harappan site. Kalibangan was proto-Harappan site as well as the mature Harappan site. Okay, write down. Kalibangan is proto-Harappan and mature Harappan site. Jukar and Jungar. Z-H-U-N-G-A-R, Jungar. Yeah. Proto means in between. Yeah. At Kalibangan, we got these fire altars. Okay. What is the use of fire altars? Yeah. They might have used these fire altars for the ritual purpose. So what we can conclude? The very origin of Hinduism was traced from the Indus Valley civilization. Okay, but we have no temples. In Indus Valley civilization, we don't find any temples or idols or images of deities. Okay. And one more interesting thing is, in all IBC sites, we found a terracotta mother goddess, but except in Kalibangan. In Kalibangan, terracotta mother goddess is absent. And one more striking feature of IVC towns is, in all the sites, you got that washroom, sanitation facilities. But here, sanitation facilities were absent at Kalibangan. So these exemptions will be asked in your prelims. Okay. Now, Banwali is followed by, after Banwali, Kalibangan is followed by Banwali. So Banwali is a proto-Harappan as well as mature Harappan site. Banwali is a proto-Harappan as well as mature Harappan site. Okay. And Banwali was excavated by Dr. Bisht. Yeah, please correct. Kalibangan is located on the banks of Gaggar River. Kalibangan is located on the banks of Gaggar River. Banwali is located on the banks of Saraswati River. Okay. At Kalibangan, we found a large plowing field. Okay, with the furrows. If you are from villages, you are aware of furrows in the field. Okay. So there are some vertical furrows and horizontal furrows. So we can call it as a crisscrossed furrows were found. With this, what we can conclude? Of course, agriculture was there. Without agriculture, their economy was not sustained. Yeah? Huh? Irrigation. Okay. Here I am talking about furrows. Multiple cropping. Very good, my dear. So they are aware of multiple cropping. Multiple cropping. So what are the crops they have grown? Wheat, barley. Yeah. Then what about rice? Yes, rice was there. We got Lothal, we got Rangapur, and these two places we got the references of remnants of the rice. But rice was rarely used. Rice was not the staple food. Rice was rarely used. You know, but IBC people, they have grown millets. They have grown millets and sesame and some pulses. Okay, and linseed. Linseed. Anyhow, IBC people were vegetarians or non-vegetarians? Only non-vegetarians. They both. Okay, they had both vegetarian as well as the non-vegetarian food. In non-vegetarian, what they had? What they used to have? Yeah. Bull. Pig. Okay. Pig, buffaloes, poultry. Yeah. Then sheep, goat. Then fish. Why fish? Because most of the cities are located on the banks of rivers. At the same time, we have some coastal towns also. When you are at the coastal or on the banks of rivers, you usually have the fish. Fish is also a part of their diet. Apart from this, we got the bones of some wild animals. Bones of wild animals like bear, deer, and gharial. Gharial, bear, and deer. Okay, these wild animals' bones were also found in the residential complexes. Okay, they simply ask, what are the crops grown by the Indus Valley people? They'll give some list. Okay, you may directly say wheat, barley, rice, but you people may be confused whether they have grown millets or not. They have cultivated millets also. Okay, to answer such kind of questions, you need this information. Then, what kind of irrigation they had practiced? What kind of irrigation? There are three types of irrigations. One is tank irrigation. Were they aware of tank irrigation? You can comfortably say, because we have Great Bath. Great Bath is a large tank. So with that you can conclude, yes, they are aware of the tank irrigation. Then canal irrigation. Did they practice canal irrigation? Though they are aware of the canal irrigation, they have not preferred canal irrigation. Why? Because all the cities and towns are located on rivers. Let's say, for example, here we have river. Okay, my friend house is there and their village is there. Now you have dug up a canal to this village. Annually there are some floods. If there is a flood happens, that river water floods into your village and your village will be wiped out. That's why in Sindh region and Punjab region, they have not preferred the canal irrigation. Canal irrigation you can see only at the Shartugai in Afghanistan. Shartugai in Afghanistan. Okay. Then what about reservoirs? Were they aware of reservoirs? Yes. And they constructed reservoirs and they also built water harvesting structures at Dholavira. UPSC recently asked a question on Dholavira. In which of the following IBC town water harvesting structures and reservoirs were found? And that is Dholavira. If you look at the Dholavira, Dholavira is located on the Run of Kutch region. Right now, if you go to Run of Kutch, it is arid region. Arid region, you don't get the water at all. But in that water scarce region, they established a city and they lived almost for 1,000 years there. How is it possible? And they are conscious of their limitations. And they started water harvesting structures. Okay, Dholavira. Write down few points about Dholavira. Dholavira was excavated by Dr. Jagpat Joshi. Dr. Jagpat Joshi. It is located in the Run of Kutch. In the Run of Kutch. Generally, how Harappan cities were divided? Upper town, lower town. But here in Dholavira, you can see upper town, lower town and middle town. Upper town, lower town and middle town. At Dholavira, we found the first indoor stadium. First indoor stadium. At Dholavira, we found a huge sign mark. Signs with the Harappan script. Harappan script. Write down. A large sign of IBC script was found. A large sign of IBC script was found. Okay. Then we have an important IBC site called Lothal. Lothal was excavated by Sri Ranganatha Rao. It is located on the banks of, there is a famous ashram in Gujarat, Sabarmati ashram, right? It is located on the banks of Sabarmati river. These days what UPSC is asking, they are not merely asking the historical sites in and around whether any river is flowing or not. Okay. Now it is near to Gulf of Combat. It is near to Gulf of Combat. Yeah. What was the significance of Lothal? Yeah. First international tidal port. First international tidal port was found. This is what the first international tidal port. Okay. Tidal port means, in the ocean you have high tides and low tides. On the base of high tides and low tides, they build the ports. During the high tide, that water pushes into this port city. Okay, during the low tide, water recedes. On the movement, the ships will come and exit. Yes? Yeah. During the high tide, water will enter into that port. It will stay there. Okay, then, so your Lothal, as it was located in the Gujarat region, it maintained some long distance trade contacts with the Mesopotamians. So they maintained trade contacts with the Mesopotamians. Okay. Now we got some evidence also. At Lothal, we found a seal with the ship symbol. Ship symbol seal was found at Lothal. Ship symbol seal was found at Lothal. And one more unique aspect of Lothal is there we found some Mesopotamian seals. There is a difference between IBC seals and the Mesopotamian seals. IBC seals are mostly rectangular in shape, but whereas Mesopotamian seals are cylindrical in shape. So these cylindrical seals were found at Lothal. So with that we can establish the trade contacts between the IBC and the Mesopotamians. And one more important aspect of Lothal is here we found rice. Here we found some charred grains. Okay. So when I say India, what sport come to your mind? What sport? Cricket. Cricket is the colonial legacy. Yeah. There is a what is that? Chess. So here we got the chess board right at Lothal. Chess and dice. Chess and dice. Objects were found. At Lothal only, we got some pots. Yeah. Here we found one, painted pottery. Painted pottery. On the pot, they depicted cunning fox story. Cunning fox story was depicted on the these pot found at the Lothal. Then, so that's all about Lothal. The next one is Rangapur. Rangapur. And Rangapur was excavated by MS Watts. Rangapur was excavated by MS Watts. Here we found the rice husk. Rice husk was found at Rangapur. Next. And one more city called Sarkatoda. Sarkatoda. At Sarkatoda, we found a horse skeleton. We found a horse skeleton. UPSC is fond of this horse. 2 times UPSC asked the question whether IVC people are aware of horse or whether IV people have employed the horse. UPSC confirmed that IVC people were not aware of horse. They don't know horse. They have not employed horse. Then what about this horse skeleton? The recent historians, they confirmed that it is a skeleton of mule. It's not the horse. Okay. Why they have not employed the horse? Why IBC people were not employed the horse? They are not war-loving people. They are the peace-loving people. How can you say they are the peace-loving people? Because no war weapons were found. Okay, with that you can say they are the peace-loving people. And one more thing, religious tolerance became the DNA of IBC people. You can see 4 races were coexisted for a long time. What are the races found in IBC? Mongoloid, Proto-Australoid, Alpinoid and Mediterranean. So these are the 4 important races were coexisted. Mongoloid, Alpinoid, Proto-Australoid and Mediterranean. So these are the 4 races were existing. If their economy is based on livestock, in that case, they would have used this horse. But their economy is based on what? Their economy is based on intensive agriculture. Okay, that's why there is no need at all for the IBC people to employ the horse. Okay. I'm not getting. You know, we have some burials. In burials, we got the skeletons. Okay, burials. Burials means, yeah, dead beings, the men and women were buried. Okay, in burials, we got some skeletons, and these skeletons were observed. And some people are large, some people are short, some people are mean height, and some people are mean short. So with that base, on the basis of that, they confirm there are 4 different races were existing. So at Lothal, one more important thing is men and women were both buried at the same place. Men and women were found in same burial. So with this, what they are confirming? Sati. Some people are hastily confirming Sati was there since IVC period. Okay. But Sati is present only in the patriarchal society. Sati is present in the patriarchal society. Now the question arises, whether IVC society is a patriarchal society or matriarchal society. Yeah. We don't know, but by observing the contemporary civilizations, you can say IVC society is a matriarchal society because they had contacts with the Mesopotamians, and Mesopotamian society is a matriarchal. So historians are saying that IVC is also matriarchal. Would you accept it? Matriarchy means female dominated or women dominated. Okay. Since we are having the trade contacts with the China, can I say that Communist Party dominating in India? We can't say. But here the problem is, in all the IBC sites, we got the mother goddess. Since we got the mother goddess, toys or images, so with that, matriarchy was there. Female dominated or women dominated society was existed. Right now also we have mother goddesses. Yeah. Many mother goddesses like Yellamma, Renukamma, Maisamma, Durga, Saraswati, like that many goddesses we have, we worship them. Are we giving equal space for the women in our society? No, always we try to. Our society is mostly patriarchal. Then how can you say IVC society is a matriarchal society? Yeah. So by 1750 BC, all the activities in IVC sites were absent, were stopped. But even after the 1750 BC, in 2 sites, Jukar and Jungar, the IVC trades have been continued. So in Jukar and Jungar, the society was matriarchal. Okay. So on the basis of this, most of the historians right now agreeing IVC society was a matriarchal society. Okay. Now question arises, whether IVC society was a class-based society or caste-based society. How many classes are there? 2 classes. What are they? Upper class or lower class? Haves and have-nots. One is farmers, farmer class, because we have that agriculture base. Since we have agriculture base, we can concluding farmers must be there. Then merchants. Merchants is an important class. Then yeah, industries. So since we have industries, class is artisans. Artisans were there. So there are some people and who practice fishing, and there are some people who enter into forest and go for hunting. So here we have the hunters. Administration is there. So we can conclude IAS, IPS officers are present. So we can't certainly say. We can't certainly say. Here we can certainly say without farmers, there is no Indus Valley civilization. Without merchants, they cannot have such a long distance trade. And without artisans, you can't see that seals, beads and all. And without the hunters, and how could you get the fish and all? So you can certainly say farmers, merchants, artisans, hunters were present. And one more community called scribes. Who are the scribes? Scribes are the writers. Writing on what? Writing on seals. Since they have the Indus script, they have written Indus script on the seals, definitely we have a class of scribers or scribes. Now, whether it is a illiterate society or literate society, literate society, there are people who can write and read these seals. Okay. You know, these days there is one thing with respect to the Indus Valley civilization that became popular, that is Indus Valley script, IVC script. IVC script was written on, you can find IVC script only on the seals, only on seals. And how was the script? Do you find any alphabets? No. Here we have only symbols. Here we have only symbols, or we can call it as a pictures. We can call it as a logosyllabic script. And how the script is? Right to left and left to right. Okay, so we can call it as a Boustrophedon style. While discussing about art and culture, so I said that, and who found this right to left pattern? Airavatam Mahalingam. So Airavatam Mahalingam, he researched about the Indus Valley script and he traced some similarity between the Tamil script and IVC script. Tamil script and IVC script. That's why that Stalin, Tamil Nadu government, they announced that reward also, 8 crore rupees reward. Okay, if you are able to establish certain link, or if you can decode the Indus Valley script, okay, now you can conclude that IVC people after 1750 BC, they escaped, they migrated from northwestern parts of India to south, and they settled in Tamil Nadu. So when they settled in Tamil Nadu, who are they? They are the IVC people. They are the descendants of IVC people. IVC is not a rural culture. IVC is the urban civilization. So in the entire Indian subcontinent, and who are the makers of Indus Valley civilization? Tamilians or Dravidians. Are you getting my point or not? Now, culture is not spreading from north to south. Here we are spreading culture from that advanced culture from the south to north. That is what their interest. That's why they are emphasizing more on it. Even recently, there are some sites in Tamil Nadu where they found iron tools. They are saying that by 3000 BC itself, iron was used in Tamil Nadu, that is South India. But the recent history, or up to now, what we established that only in 1000 BC, in the later Vedic period, iron was used. Shyama Aya was mentioned in the later Vedic literature. Okay? Iron technology has a lot of impact on the civilization. If South Indians or Tamilians has used the iron for the first time, and who are the makers of great civilization? And that is the Tamilians. Okay? So that's all about the Indus Valley cities. Then Our next topic is religion, Indus Valley religion. Okay. So what kind of religion existed? Can I call it as a religion? Why? If I have to call it as a religion, what are the important features, characteristics of religion? God. Okay. You need image. You need image or idol. A specific God we want. Then what else? For Hindus, we have Bhagavad Gita. For Muslims, Quran. For Christians, Bible. Like that, sacred scripture. Sacred scripture. Yeah. Then place of worship. Place of worship. Yeah. Do you find any temple in IVC? No. Temples are absent. Temples are absent. And images of deities are also absent. You don't find any sacred books of IVC. So we can't call it as a religion. Okay. They had only beliefs. They had only beliefs. They worshipped all the things in nature. Okay. They worshipped river. How they worshipped river? They worshipped the Indus and its tributaries in the form of gharial. In the form of gharial. You know, crocodile. They worshipped the crocodile. Where the Buddha got enlightenment? Buddha got enlightenment under pipal tree. So here also in Indus Valley civilization, you can see the images of pipal tree. And what is the symbol of Hinduism? Hindu sacred symbol is swastik. Even you can see swastik symbols in the Indus Valley sites. Swastik symbols in Indus Valley site. Okay. So here they worshipped plants. They worshipped rivers. Okay. They worshipped the Mother Earth. How Mother Earth was worshipped? Mother Earth was worshipped in the form of terracotta. Terracotta Mother Goddess. Terracotta Mother Goddess. If you observe the Mother Goddess image, and she is mostly semi-naked. There are some ornaments that are flowing from the neck, and there are some girdles. Okay, and out of the womb of this Mother Goddess, there are some twigs, plants are growing. So it means they are imagining Mother Earth is the feminine force. Feminine force. Okay, and we have that hero on a seal. Who is that? Pashupati Mahadeva. Pashupati Mahadeva. So this Pashupati Mahadeva is in the which posture? Yogic posture or meditation posture. And what is that asana? Asana is Padmasana. It's not Padmasana. Actually, here the 2 feet are pointed together. We can call it as a Bhadrasana. Bhadrasana. Okay. Apart from the worshipping of animals, plants, and rivers. Okay. And what kind of practices you can see? Fire altars. Fire altars in the Kalibangan. Fire altars in the Kalibangan indicates some kind of rituals. Some kind of rituals might be there. Yeah. Then great baths. Very good. Great bath in Mohenjo-daro, it suggested some kind of ceremonies, sacrificial baths. Then amulet. Very good. Okay. Amulet indicate what? Amulets of that bearded man statue. That amulets indicates their belief about the evil spirits. Their belief about evil spirits. Okay. Then we found some grave goods. We found some grave goods. Okay, and these grave goods indicates life after the death. Life after death. Life after death. Sometimes they may also ask question on burial practices. Burial practices. You can see wooden burial. Wooden coffin or wooden burial. Wooden coffin at Harappa. Wooden coffin at Harappa. You can see cyst burial. Cyst burial. Fractional burial. Fractional burial. So fractional means once the body was cremated, then whatever the bones we have, and these bones were placed in a pot, and that pot was buried. Pot was buried. We can call it as a fractional burial. Okay, so these are the popular beliefs of the Indus Valley people. Yeah, cyst burial means it is something like a huge pot. There the entire body was placed and buried. Entire body was placed and buried. Okay. These are the things about Indus Valley civilization. In Indus Valley civilization, they may ask some characteristic features. Characteristic features. Am I correct or not? Okay. Mostly questions would come on these areas. Next one is Vedic period. Vedic period, yeah. Previous year questions are there. Which one of the following ancient towns is well known for its elaborate system of water harvesting and management by building a series of dams and channelizing water into connected reservoirs? Dholavira. Okay. At Kalibangan, we got that fire altars, an absent of mother goddess, absent of sanitation facilities, and we got some plow field also. Rakigari. At Rakigari only we got that rice husk. Okay. Ropar is in Haryana. Which one of the following is not a Harappan site? Chanhu-daro. Yeah. At Chanhu-daro we got that bead making and seal making industries. Kotidji. While discussing about pre-Harappan, proto-Harappan, mature Harappan, in proto-Harappan phase, we got 4 towns. Amri, Kotidji. Kotidji is a proto-Harappan site. Sohagara. Sohagara is not found because Sohagara is a Ashokan inscription. Okay, Mauryan inscription is found. Sohagara and Mahasthana. In these 2 places, Mauryan inscriptions are found. Importance of these 2 inscriptions is, during the Mauryan period, there are some deadly famines. When famine occurred, what is the responsibility of the state? State has to procure the food grains and it has to supply and it has to provide some famine relief measures. So in these inscriptions, the Mauryan emperors, they are ordering the officers to take up all the famine relief measures. Famine relief measures. And Deshalpur is a famous IVC site in UP. Okay. Which of the following characterizes the people of Indus Valley civilization? They possessed great palaces and temples. Right or wrong? Wrong. Palace might be there, but temples are absent. Okay. Did they build any mummies like Egyptian people? No, they have not built any mummies or pyramids. They worshipped both male and female deities. They worshipped both male and female deities. Terracotta Mother Goddess and Pashupati Mahadeva seals are there. They employed horse-drawn chariots in warfare. Wrong. So only B is correct. Yeah. With reference to the difference between the culture of Rigvedic Aryans and Indus Valley people, which of the following statements are correct? First statement, Rigvedic Aryans used the coat of mail and helmet in warfare, whereas the people of Indus Valley civilization did not leave any evidence of using them. Since Aryans are the war-loving people, they made frequent wars. Okay, from that steppe region, they fought against many tribes. So they had that coat of mail and the helmet. But IBC people are peace-loving people. That's why we didn't get any evidences. Okay, then second statement, Rigvedic Aryans knew gold, silver and copper. In Rigveda, we have some references of gold, Nishka, Shatamana, okay, Hiranya. So these are all the references of gold. Whereas Indus Valley people knew only copper and iron. Copper is fine. What about iron? They are not aware of iron. It is a Bronze Age culture. Bronze Age culture. So iron has not yet entered. Then third statement, Rigvedic Aryans had domesticated horse, whereas there is no evidence of Indus Valley people having been aware of this animal. Okay, so this statement is also correct. So statement 2 is wrong. So 1 and 3. Next. It is related to Vedic culture. We will see that, Vedic culture. So Vedic period. So we broadly divide the Vedic period into early Vedic period. Early Vedic period was between 1500 BC to 1000 BC. 1500 BC to 1000 BC. And later Vedic period. Later Vedic period between 1000 BC to 600 BC. 600 BC. What was the basis for this classification? What was the basis? Why we divided it into two broad things, periods? Pasteurization versus agriculture. Didn't they practice any livestock in later Vedic period? Yeah. Then technology. Technology started from prehistoric cultures. Paleolithic man. Any other basis? Method of worship. Places. Very good. Two important river systems. One is Indus and another one is Ganga and Yamuna Doyab. In early Vedic period, Aryans, they settled in this Sapta Sindhu region. Aryans settled in the Sapta Sindhu region. Okay. What kind of region it was? Fertile or unfertile? Fertile. But that fertility was affected, devastated, ruined by the IVC people. Okay, IVC people, they have continuously, rampantly cut off the forest. It led to the degradation, land degradation. So the soil is unfertile. When soil is not supporting the intensive agriculture, then what could be their chief occupation? Livestock or pastoralism. Pastoralism or livestock rearing. Their secondary occupation is agriculture. Secondary occupation is agriculture, and we can call it as a subsistence agriculture. Subsistence agriculture. Okay, here their geography is going to dictate what is this profession or nothing but the economy. Nothing but economy. Okay, now here the economy is not stronger. The economy was weak. That weak economy cannot provide large revenue base for the Rajan. Rajan was a poor king. He could not collect the taxes from people. Okay, when Rajan could not collect taxes from people, can he raise the army? He can't raise the army. He can't raise army. That's why you can see republic or tribal polity. Republic or tribal polity. Okay, now in early Vedic period, from dawn to dusk, the man is struggling for what? Man is struggling for to meet the ends. To meet the ends. And man is struggling for livelihood. Man is struggling for livelihood. When man is struggling for livelihood, if he worship gods, if he pray for gods, and what he expect from the gods? Why he worship gods? Praja, Pashu and victories. Praja, Pashu and victories only. Praja means children. Pashu means whoever is having the more cattle population and he is a wealthy man. Gomat. Gomat means wealthiest man. Gomat means wealthiest man. Gopa. Who is a Gopa? Gopa, Gopala. Gopala is the protector of cows. And whose responsibility it was? It was a responsibility of king. King no need to protect the land. Land is their second priority. The first priority is cows. Just for cows, they fought wars. We can call it as a Gavisti. Gavisti is a war for the cows. Okay? And everything is measured with the cow only. The time is measured with Godhuli. Godhuli is nothing but the when cow comes to the house, that time is Godhuli. And how much distance cow travels, and that is Gavyati. Even the distance is also measured on the basis of cow. And cow is central figure for their economy in the early Vedic period. That's why they composed many hymns for cows. They revered cow. Cow is the sacred animal for the Aryans. For the Aryans. But whereas for IVC people, bull is the sacred, important animal because their economy is based on intensive agriculture. Intensive agriculture. Okay. Now, what was a religious Vedic religion? Vedic religion in early Vedic period. How they look at the world. We are going to understand their religion from the Rig Veda. Rig Veda is the basis. 1500 BC to 1000 BC, they composed only one text. The text is the Rig Veda only. Okay, the remaining literature, Yajurveda, Samaveda, Atharvana Veda, then Brahmanas, Aranyakas, Upanishads, Vedangas, Upavedas, okay, epics, Itihasas, Puranas, everything was composed in later Vedic period. Later Vedic period. Okay. Now, what this Rig Veda says? This Rig Veda talks about multiple gods. Talks about multiple gods. We can call it as a naturalistic polytheism. Polytheism. Poly means many. Theism means worshipping. So they are worshipping many gods. And who are these gods? These gods are the natural forces, natural phenomena. Suddenly if there is a rainfall And early Vedic people believed that there is a god for this rain. Early morning, dawn, evening, dusk. So they also identified for this dawn and dusk there are some gods. Like that, all the natural forces were identified, were worshipped in the form of various gods. And who is the father or mother of all these gods? Indra. Father of all the gods and goddesses were Zeus. Zeus is the father of all gods. Mother was Prithvi. Prithvi is the mother. And how all these gods were created? These gods were created when they perform a ritual called Hiranyagarbha ritual. Hiranyagarbha ritual. When they performed Hiranyagarbha ritual, all the gods, the remaining gods and goddesses were created. Gods and goddesses were created. Okay. So the very conception of early Vedic people or Aryans was altogether different. They composed hymns for all the materialistic things. For all materialistic things. Rigvedic people never thought about what happens after the death. Where you will go. What about the cycle of birth and death? What about heaven and hell? And who is the creator? And what is the creation? What is there within our body? Okay, they never thought about it. Only materialistic. Only materialistic. Now, these early Vedic people, they classified this entire universe into, already we discussed it. How they classified? Different words. Here we have sky, and it is earth. Beyond the sky, here we have a sphere, we can call it as a celestial sphere. Between sky and earth, there is a sphere called aerial sphere. Aerial sphere. And on the earth, they classified it as a terrestrial sphere. And who is the head of the celestial sphere? Indra. Indra is the head of this celestial sphere. And Indra is one of the favorite of all the gods. Okay, because Rigveda, it dedicated around 250 hymns for Indra only. Okay, Indra is called as Purandhara. Indra is called as Purandhara. Then, in this aerial sphere, here we have Varuna. Varuna is in charge of aerial sphere. And Varuna is such an auspicious god. Auspicious god. Okay, and this Varuna, he travels in this aerial sphere. And he observes what? And he monitors, he supervises that moral and ethical order. Moral and ethical order. This moral and ethical order is called as Rita. Once UPSC asked a question, what is the meaning of Rita? So Rita is a universal moral order. Okay, if anybody violates this order, Varuna is going to punish. How Varuna punishes? No rain or excessive rain. Okay. Other than that, personally, we are all following order, but you have not followed order. But how Varuna is going to punish you? By giving diseases. By giving diseases. Early Vedic people, they thought that whatever the disease we got, that is because of the Varuna's angry. If Varuna was angered, and he is going to give all these kind of diseases. Okay. Now, how do you satisfy the gods? Yeah. You need to build a ritual. Fire altar. You need to build a fire altar. And you have to perform ritual. Okay, fine. In the ritual, you offer God what the things you are going to offer. You will offer ghee. And the early Vedic Aryans, they offered ghee or milk or grains. Mix all these things. What happens? Pongali, payasam. Milk patridge is one of the favorite dish of Aryans. Milk patridge is the favorite dish of Aryans. So what we are offering right now? We are also offering the same thing. It means culture has been continuing even now. Even now. Okay? Now, on the terrestrial sphere, and who is the man? Who is the god in charge? Zeus. Soma will come. For terrestrial sphere, Agni is the in charge. Agni is the in charge. And Agni is called as the priest of gods. Priest of gods. Without Agni, there is no basis for Hindu culture. Let's say, for example, you wanted to get the blessings of Indra when you are going for battle of UPSC. Okay, how do you get the blessings of Indra? First of all, build a fire altar and you lit a fire. Okay, and when you lit a fire and reciting some mantras and saying that I am so and so, I need the blessings of Indra. Okay, and you offer ghee, you offer milk, you offer grains. And how this Agni will transmit this information to the Indra? Indra was in the celestial sphere. Agni is in the terrestrial sphere. Then how he would communicate? He will transform into smoke. He will transform into smoke. That's why he is called as, what is that name, title? Havyavahana. Havyavahana. So Agni is the god who has smoke as vehicle. Smoke as vehicle. Okay. Then one more name. Hutasana. Hutasana means he purifies the conduct. Hutasana purifies the conduct. Okay. Other than these gods, we have the Soma. Soma is an important god. He is in charge of Soma drinker. Soma drinker. Soma plant also. Okay. So in Rigveda, how many chapters we have? In Rigveda, we have total 10 chapters. Out of these 10 chapters, the entire 9th chapter was dedicated to Soma. Apart from these gods, who are the important one? Agni, Varuna, Indra are over. Soma is also over. Then Vishnu. How many times I referred about Vishnu? Right now Vishnu is a popular god. He has 10 incarnations. One of the dominant god in Hindu religion. Wherever you go, either it is Vishnu temple or Shiva temple or Devi temple. But by that time, Vishnu was a minor god. Only 6 hymns were dedicated. 6 hymns were dedicated. Then what about Shiva? Shiva was called as Rudra. Shiva was called as Rudra. Okay. And he was given only 3 hymns. 3 hymns. Okay. And Shiva is going to cure epidemics. Shiva is going to cure your diseases. Shiva is a doctor. In our culture also, we worship Shiva as Vaidyanath. Okay. Vaidyanath is one form of the Shiva. And he is a doctor. Vishnu is also a doctor, my dear. Yeah. Dhanvantari. Dhanvantari is incarnation or one form of Vishnu. And you cure all the diseases. Okay. So, other than Vishnu, Rudra, here we have an important goddess called Savitri. Who is this Savitri? Yeah. Savitri, she is the goddess of cosmic energy. Goddess of cosmic energy. There is a famous mantra. What is that mantra? Gayatri mantra. Gayatri mantra was composed by? Who composed Gayatri mantra? Vishwamitra. Vishwamitra composed Gayatri mantra. Who is Vishwamitra? Aryan or non-Aryan? Aryan, non-Aryan? Non-Aryan. Vishwamitra was a non-Aryan. Okay. In exam, you will get the questions. Which of the following statements are correct regarding Vedic literature? Entire Vedic literature was composed by Aryans only. Right or wrong? Statement is wrong. So there are some non-Aryans who contributed for the Vedic literature. Okay? Yeah. So this Gayatri mantra, it is present in the part 3. Part 3 of Rig Veda. So other than these gods, we have Maruts. Maruts. Maruts are the gods of storms. Gods of storms. Marut brothers. Later we have Maruti. So Maruti means Anjaneya's one more name is Maruti. And we have one more brother, Ashwini brothers. Ashwini brothers. They are gods of medicinal plants. Gods of medicinal plants. And Aranyavani. Aranyavani, goddess of forest. Goddess of forest. Ila. Ila, goddess of evil spirits. Usha, goddess of dawn. Goddess of dawn. But Rigvedic religion, it was simple. Simple. I can say it is democratic. Why it was democratic? Yeah. Society, how was the society was? In society we have the Chaturvarna or Trivarna? Only Trivarnas. Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishyas. We should not say this. They are like this. Brahmana, Kshatriya and Vaishya. It means no one is superior and no one is inferior. Okay. Vaishyas can marry the Brahmins and Brahmins can marry the Kshatriyas. And within a family, one is a Brahmin, another one is a Kshatriya and another one take up the Vaishya profession. Am I clear? So, in early Vedic period, there is no Varna discrimination at all. Untouchability was not present. Untouchability was completely absent in early Vedic period. Okay. Now, here, anyone can wear the sacred thread. Anyone can wear sacred thread. Not only this, even both men and women can perform rituals. Men and women can perform rituals. So, we can say gender equality. Gender equality. Then, early Vedic religion is materialistic in nature. Early Vedic religion, materialistic in nature. Rituals are there, but they are very simple. And how this early Vedic religion has been transformed in later Vedic period. What happened in later Vedic period? In later Vedic period, they migrated from Sapta Sindhu region to Ganga and Yamuna Doyab. When they crossed Ganga and Yamuna rivers and settled in this region, what kind of place it was? Fertile soils. On the one hand, fertile soils. And they are all the virgin lands. No one has exploited. No one has exploited. So here, we have the southwest monsoons. In June, they enter into Kerala. By the time of August, you can see a large precipitation in this main region, Ganga and Yamuna region. On the one hand, fertile soils, virgin lands, and perennial rivers and large scale precipitation. And it is one of the fertile soils. That's why people, they had taken up intensive agriculture. So when they enter into Ganga Yamuna Doyab, they equipped with the iron technology. Now they made iron tools, particularly that hand axe. With that hand axe, people are entering and clearing the forest. Yeah. How much land you want to, you can go and clear it and make it as a agriculture land. And land got the importance. Land got the importance. Why? Because their occupation was intensive agriculture. Intensive agriculture. Okay. How geography determines economy? We can understand. Geography determines economy. When they change the place, earlier we have only three varnas: Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishyas. Now we have one more varna, that is Shudras. And Shudras taken up what? What was the profession of Shudras? Shudras, they focused on agriculture. Because agriculture was profitable. No need to do anything. If they sow the seeds, that's enough. And they'll get the bountiful production. So Shudras are producing for the entire society. Even they are producing surplus. They are producing surplus. So whatever the surplus they created, who will take up the surplus? Surplus was used by Vaishyas for the trade. For trade. Here, Shudras became wealthy, Vaishyas became wealthy. Now they are affordable to pay the taxes. Affordable to pay taxes. Now, once Shudras and Vaishyas are paying taxes to the Rajan, and Rajan was no more a weak king. Now, Rajan is going to raise the army. A large army he is going to raise. With this army, what he would do? He is going to make the wars. He is going to make the wars. Okay. And with these wars, he is going to expand the kingdom. Expand the boundaries. Earlier, we call him as Gopala. Now, Gopala transformed into Bhupala. Why Bhupala? Because his prime responsibility is protecting the land, not the cattle. Not the cattle. Okay. Now, Kshatriyas are busy, Vaishyas are busy, Shudras are also busy. But who has more pastime? Brahmins. Brahmins had more pastime. Now, what they would do? They are focusing on writing literature. Focusing on writing literature. What they have composed? Sorry. They composed, remaining three Vedas, Brahmanas, Aranyakas, Upanishads, Vedangas, epics, Puranas, Upavedas. That entire literature, except Rigveda, was composed in the later Vedic period. Okay? So for later Vedic period, I'm sorry. Now earlier popular gods, Indra, Agni, Varuna, they lost their relevance. Their place was occupied by Brahma. Okay, Vishnu. And earlier Rudra transformed into Shiva. Rudra transformed into Shiva. Okay. Why Indra lost relevance? When they migrated from Saptasindhu region to Ganga Yamuna Doya, Aryans, they ignored the Indra. Land was fertile, yeah. When they were in Saptasindhu region, they used it to fight against people who are living in forts. People who are living in forts. That's why Indira got a title. What is the title? Purandhara. Purandhara means breaker of forts. Breaker of forts. But once they enter into Ganga Yamuna, there is no forts, there is no cities. It's a virgin land. They don't need the importance or relevance of the Indra. So that's how Indra lost the relevance. And Brahma is called as Prajapati. He was worshipped by Kshatriyas. Kshatriyas started worshipping Brahma. Then Vishnu was worshipped by, who worshipped Vishnu? Balaji. Where you can see the image of Balaji. All the Vaishyas. Vaishyas would not worship Shiva because Shiva is going to destroy. But here Vishnu, anyhow, who is the wife of Vishnu? Lakshmi. Lakshmi is the goddess of wealth. So they worship Vishnu. So Vaishyas worship Vishnu. Why Vaishyas prefer Vishnu? Yeah. What Vishnu do? Protection. Vishnu make many incarnations. Rama, he descended as Rama, killed Ravana. Krishna killed Kamsa. He is a murderer. Am I correct or not? By killing the people, and he is going to establish the Dharma. Going to establish Narasimha. He killed Hiranyakashyapa. Okay. So your Vishnu, he is going to establish the order. Vishnu is going to establish order. Order is essential for trade and commerce. If there is no order, law and order, you cannot make the much profits. You cannot expect the trade and commerce. So trade and commerce is the occupation of Vaishyas. So Vaishyas wanted order. Who can establish order? That is the Vishnu. Apart from Vishnu, Vaishyas also worship one more god. Who is that? God of wealth only. Lakshmi, okay, fine. Kubera, very good. They also worship a god called Kubera. God of loans, like RBI, Reserve Bank of India. Okay. So once UPSC asked a question, and what is the vehicle of Kubera? Tortoise. Yeah. In Vedic literature, how Kubera was symbolized? Laughing Buddha. They're all the modern interpretations. If you look at Kubera, Kubera was sitting on the shoulders of human being. Human being is the vehicle of Kubera. How human being is vehicle of Kubera? The entire human life depends upon wealth only, money only. Am I correct or not? Why are you pursuing civil services? Why are you preparing for civil services? Imagine, my dear, if you enter into civil services, you would not be given any salary, but you have to do service. Would you like to? No. No one would prefer. We take up every profession. Our livelihood is completely depends upon the money. Even our attitude, behavior, morals, values, everything depends upon money only. Am I correct? Money makes many things. So the very life, the very destiny of human being decided by wealth. It was symbolically represented. So Kubera is called as Naravahana Datta. Naravahana Datta. Man as the vehicle. Nara means man. Vahana means vehicle. Datta means possessor. Yeah. Then what about our Shudras? Shudras worship Pushan. Shudras worship Pushan. Pushan is the god of Shudras. Okay. What about Saraswati? Earlier there is a goddess called Saraswati in early Vedic period. Saraswati is the goddess of learning. But once you enter into later Vedic period, Saraswati is missing. Saraswati is absent. Why Saraswati is absent? Yeah. In early Vedic period, women also allowed to read Vedas. Women were permitted to read the Vedas. But the moment they enter into Ganga Yamuna Doyam, later Vedic period, women were prohibited to read Vedas. Why? Why women lost their freedom, liberty in later Vedic period? Earlier we have Brahmavandins, Vishwavandins. Women were more or less treated equally with the men. They can also wear the sacred thread. They can also perform rituals. They can also focus on learning, read Vedas, compose hymns. Okay, there is no child marriages in early Vedic period. Absence of sati, there is no sati at all. Only after the puberty, marriages were done. You will be really surprised. Even widow remarriages were also done in early Vedic period. Widow remarriages were done. But why all of a sudden women lost their importance, focus, liberty, freedom? Yeah. Here again, it is related to your economy, my dear. In early Vedic period, they were in Saptasindhu region. Saptasindhu region. In Saptasindhu region, their economy was weak. Their economy was weak. If to run the family, both men and women work. So there is an equal contribution of women to run the family, to get the livelihood. Since there is equal participation of women in economy, they have to give importance to the women. They are forced to give importance to the women. That's why you see women were also allowed into Samiti, and women were made as part of political decision making. Are you getting my point or not? But once you enter into Ganga Yamuna Doyam, would you need women? No, you don't need the labor of women. Men, they are going to clear the forest. They are going to plow the land. They are going to get the food grains. Now what the woman has to do? Women must confine only to house. That's it. No need to come out. Am I correct? Now what is the duty of women? Women must be subordinated. Women must be subordinated to man or husband. Wife has to serve the husband only. And who is a god for wife? Husband is a god for wife. Okay, there is a meek and geek wife syndrome was started. Okay, women should not question, wife should not question the husband. Wherever husband goes, wife has to follow. Where you can see Ramayana. See Ramayana, my dear. Ramayana was composed in later Vedic period. Clear? So, in later Vedic period, there is a woman subordination. That is clearly reflected in Ramayana. Okay? Now, and women duty is procreation. Women duty was procreation. Procreation means conceiving more children. Why more children? You need labor, my dear, for the agriculture. Now, the children will become the labor. That's why the only duty of women is procreation and serving the in-laws. Serving in-laws, mother-in-law and father-in-law. That is how they lost their freedom and liberty. Okay, child marriages were entered in later Vedic period. In later Vedic period only, you can see that Sati was started. First reference of Sati is in Rig Veda. First reference of Sati in Rig Veda. First inscriptional evidence of Sati was in Aran inscription. Aran inscription of Skandagupta. Aran inscription. Write down this point. First reference of Sati in Rig Veda. First reference of Sati in inscription, Aran inscription. Okay? See, geography is going to dictate your economy. Your economy is going to change your polity, and your economy is going to decide your religion also. We will see, once they enter into later Vedic period, people have more and more incomes. People have more incomes. Now, Brahmins wanted to get their livelihood. That's why Brahmins designed all the kinds of rituals. All the kinds of rituals. How many rituals? An householder has to perform 16 rituals. An householder has to perform 16 rituals. Okay? So like that, wealth was spliced from the lower rungs to the upper varnas. Okay? And rituals were the cheap or costly? Rituals became costly. It means religion became costly. Okay? And rituals became complex, elaborate. Rituals became complex and elaborate. And who can perform rituals? Can anyone perform rituals? It is exclusive privilege, exclusive right of the Brahmins. Only Brahmins can perform rituals. Women cannot perform the rituals. Okay? And within the Varnas, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, if you born as a Shudra, you cannot get salvation. If you born as a Shudra, you cannot get salvation. So this is how religion has been completely transformed. Religion became undemocratic in later Vedic period. So democratic, simple, naturalistic religion became undemocratic. And rituals became central or important element in the main religion. So these rituals has to be performed only by the Brahmins. That's why we are calling it as a Brahmanical religion. Clear? Here you can see the question. The religion of early Vedic Aryans was primarily of bhakti, image worship and yagnas, worship of nature and yagnas, worship of nature and bhakti. Bhakti, you will see bhakti only in the 8th century AD. 8th century AD to 16th century AD. Image worship, do you find any images? No, there is no images. Then worship of nature and yagnas. C is the answer. And one more interesting feature in later Vedic period, one more interesting feature in the later Vedic period is, on the one hand you can see rituals. On the one hand you can see rituals. And religion became complex and costly. Within the later Vedic period, there is some other sections, they oppose rituals. They said that rituals are useless. Rituals are useless. When rituals are focusing on materialistic things, there are some people who focused on metaphysical things. Metaphysical things means cycle of birth, death, hell, heaven, karma, okay, soul and all. Okay, now who are they? People who composed the Upanishads. People who composed the Upanishads. Am I correct? So these Upanishads, they talks about the metaphysical things. And these Upanishads, they proposed that there is a ultimate soul. And that ultimate soul is called as a supreme soul, or Brahman. Brahman. From this Brahman only, we have the individual souls. We have individual souls. Okay. So whatever the individual soul we have, that came from supreme soul. Would you find any difference between God and individual one? There is no difference at all. So when there is no difference at all between God and you are nothing but the God. And that led to the philosophy of Aham Brahmasmi. I am the Brahma. You are the Brahma. Every human being is a Brahma. It led to the philosophy of Vasudaika Kutumbakam. Vasudaika Kutumbakam. How many Upanishads we have? We have to refer notes. 108 Upanishads. We have 108 Upanishads. Okay. Among these 108 Upanishads, Sveteshvatara Upanishad. Sveteshvatara Upanishad. Yeah. For the first time it talks about Bhakti. For the first time it talks about Bhakti or mysticism. Write down. Which of the following Upanishad first mentioned about the Bhakti? Sveteshvatara Upanishad. Next. Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. First time discussed about transmigration of soul. First time discussed about transmigration of soul. You know, my dear, when we die, how your soul releases from the body, where it goes, where it travels, and how it come back to get the next birth. The entire process was discussed in the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. And who composed this Brihadaranyaka Upanishad? A great sage called Yajnavalkya. A great sage called Yajnavalkya. Yeah, you people know this. Yeah, from where we have adapted the statement, Satyameva Jayate. Mundaka Upanishad. Generally, most of the Western cultures, they had fear about death, my dear. They never talk about death. Okay? But Indians, we pondered, we researched, we studied about death. Our questions are not about food. Our questions are not about water. Our questions are not about economy. Our questions are about what happens after the death. After the death. Now, this discussion you can see in Kathopanishad. Yeah, Kathopanishad. Okay. In this Kathopanishad, we have that God of death. Who is the God of death? Yama. There is a boy called Nachiket. Nachiket poses questions to the Yama. First of all, what is death? Yama said that you are a boy, you don't need to know about all these things. What do you want? Do you want wealth? Do you want kingdom? Do you want a victory? I'll give that. Nachiket said that I don't want your wealth or your victory. I want to know the reason for death. What happens after death? Where the soul moves? Yama said that even gods and goddesses don't know this secret. I can't reveal this secret. Now, Nachiket started posing the questions and Yama answering. The debate is you can see in the Kathopanishad. Okay? You know, in our Indian culture, our hero is Krishna. Krishna is first mentioned in Chandogya Upanishad. Krishna is mentioned in Chandogya Upanishad. Chandogya Upanishad. Okay, so that's all about the first session. In the next session, we are going to discuss about Mauryans.